Step away from the explosives.
I like that kind of stuff.
That's bad. We'll have a misfire. We don't want that. That's just a piece of the boulder.
We found some giant rocks. That one's about 26 feet by 18 feet long. I think this one's like 15 by 10 or something. They're drilling to blast them. Then we're gonna put some of this soft dirt on top of all their plastics to make sure none of that gets broken, because it's gotta be blanketed so the chunks don't just go flying into the air.
So we'll cover it gentle with some nice clean material, but once these cords are protected, then he can throw boulders, cars, whatever he wants on it.
Put a little bit of dirt on them, it'll kind of just be like a boom, and that's about it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that just means they did their job. As long as this goes well today, we'll get all of this rubble out of here. We'll dig this ramp out, and we'll pretty much have all the bulk out today, hopefully. As long as the blast goes well, I think we'll be fine getting all the bulk out today. The last 1% of a job, I swear, it takes longer than most of it.
Cleaning it up and making it pretty.
Yeah, and that's everything in life for me, so finishing things are hard. Today, for sure, all the bulk will be out of here. A little mini explosion for us. Y'all stay tuned and enjoy.
That's ammonium nitrate mixed with fuel oil. They call it AMFO. One of the best blasting agents on the market. The reason being, when it burns, it goes from a solid into a gas, triples in volume. So that's what makes it such a nice explosive. Rule of thumb, 1 pound of explosives per 1 cubic yard of rock. These holes here, because they're boulders, and we've got relief everywhere you look. So these, you're only about a half a pound of explosives per cubic yard, because all this relief. There's really nothing holding this thing together, so you don't have to shoot it as hard as you would like solid ledge. Everything we do is backed up by a math formula. Nothing is left up to chance. With the nature of this business, you gotta have a paper trail for absolutely everything you do.
I was gonna say.
They have got it down to a science now. If we could see what was in that rock, we wouldn't be working because we'd be so friggin' rich, we wouldn't have to. The science tells us how to do things, but there's an unknown in everything we do as well. As far as, like these boulders. Boulders are the most dangerous things we blast. When we're in regular rock, actual ledge, through our timing delays, we can make that rock go wherever we want it to go.
Oh wow.
Boulders, we can't do that because it's number one rule of blasting, energy follows the easiest route. So like this hole, there could be a fissure in this rock right here that we can't see. So that energy will go into that fissure and then blow out. That's why, even though we've got a lot of room here, we're covering these because they're boulders, they're dangerous, and they have a tendency to be loud and throw rock. All that math and planning that we do, you might as well throw it out the window when it comes to boulders. Once we put the right amount of explosive in, then we have to put, we call this stemming. So this is going to hold the energy down where we want it to be. If we don't put this in, it'll all just shoot right out the top of the hole and throw shit everywhere.
See, that's the kind of stuff I want to see, but that's the stuff you don't want to see.
We don't want to see. Not only do we have to be OSHA compliant, we have to be MSHA compliant, Miners Safety and Health. Problem is they're two separate government entities. They will not talk back and forth. So if we're in compliance on certain things with OSHA, guess what? We're out of compliance with MSHA.
Yeah, of course.
We're kind of, it's a catch-22. Those shallower holes, just a half a stick, which is a 1/4 pound.
Okay.
And then in these deeper holes, these sticks are 1¼ by 8, a half a pound per stick. Dynamite really doesn't do much for us. The only thing the dynamite is for is to get that to burn. That's what's going to do all the work. So dynamite is cap sensitive, ammonium nitrate is not. So you have to have a donor charge, or what we call the primer. These are primers, in order to get that to burn. Again, going back to what I was talking about with the energy following the easiest route. So each one of these, there's a plastic cap inside of here. it has a 25 millisecond delay. So every 25 milliseconds, it'll strike another line and charge that hole. And then down in the bottom of the hole, it's a 350 millisecond delay. Now the reason behind that is if as soon as that cap struck, if it fired that hole, you run the chance of rock flying over and cutting off cords that have not been fired yet.
Okay, that makes sense.
So all your top will cook, and then 350 milliseconds later, then your dynamite will explode. These holes are considerably deeper. This one broke through at about 5.5.
Dang.
That's why I put some material in to get it up. If we don't do that, that energy will just go right out straight out the bottom of the hole, and it won't even break the rock. This one here, because of the depth, we got to get enough explosives in to break everything. But we don't want to put in so much that we're throwing shit all over the place.
Yep.
So what I did here, I brought it up to where we're getting good solid rock, put in a stick, put in some ammo up to 3 feet. Now I'll put in stemming material up to 2 feet, and then I'll put just a half a stick on top to make sure this thing, if you end up with more burden on top than you have on the bottom, everything is going to shoot down. So we got to make sure that we're cracking the top and get things to come up instead of straight down. So that first hole over there, we broke through at about 5.5 feet.
So y'all hit dirt underneath at about 5.5.
But none of these others, well, those three we only, or those two there we did at 5. We stopped at 5. And then this one, and this one are all down to 6 feet, and they did not break through. This could be the one that sunk the Titanic.
You never know.
Iceberg, right ahead!
So normally we're running a square pattern like a 5x5, 6x6. So all the rows get snapped together, and then we use surface delays to change up the timing in between rows. With these boulders, the hole next to the hole you just snapped into would be the next to the next to the next. What you don't want to do is have a hole firing over here and a hole firing over there. This is actually, it's not a wire, it's a hollow tubing.
Oh.
So like if a rock like that comes down and hits it, it can either pinch it closed or cut it right off altogether. That's bad. We'll have a misfire. We don't want that.
Okay.
So we'll cover it gentle with some nice clean material. But once these cords are protected, then he can throw boulders, old cars, whatever he wants on there.
Okay.
Pile it on.
Well, Mike, what do you think?
I think it's gonna go, hopefully it's gonna be a big crazy boom. So I like that kind of stuff.
I want it to be so large that I'm wondering if the drone's gonna make it.
I probably should go move my Jeep and let him out, I guess.
All clear, we look good. Climactic, but anticlimactic. Yeah!
Disintegrating.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah, buddy. That's massive! Rock is as tall as me. Look at that. That's massive. That's just a piece of the boulder. crazy. Oh, holy smokes. Massive. Woo!
The blast hole on that outer side runs right down the side. This was all buried.
Oh wow. But it
So-
fractured too, so.
Oh yeah, I broke it off, but a lot bigger than what it showed.
Gotcha.
Well, where are you going to put them now?
Not here.
Well, thank you so much, buddy. You guys did great.
Yeah, thanks, man. You were awesome. Thank you, man. guys have it for today's video. You got to see some crazy demolition. They used some dynamite. I kind of got an inside look onto what it takes to safely explode a 26-foot boulder. I think it was a little bit larger than 26 feet, but who knows? They're the ones that engineered the explosion. So hopefully you guys like that for today's video. Phil is not here, still out hunting, so y'all stay tuned for some of that footage. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, give us a comment because engagement is important, and stay and watch the whole video, please. We really appreciate that. Catch you guys in the next video.